Hello, Superhouse Podcast listeners. This is Stefan, and welcome to episode 118. In this entry, we'll be sharing our thoughts on the new Tomb Raider film, a reboot based on the popular game franchise of the same name. The game series was rebooted in 2013, focusing on a more grounded origin for a less sexually objectified Lara Croft. With an emphasis on realism and survivalist adventure, the reboot redefined a character famously portrayed on screen by Angelina Jolie in 2001. The reviews in this episode were recorded at different times, with Andrew and Maddie kicking it off, then yours truly with Maddie as well in the second half. Enjoy and let us know what you think, and remember to like, share, and subscribe, motherfuckers.
Okay, man. Do you have the format? Are we gonna freeball this, or what's up?
I can kind of make it up as we go here.
Okay. All right.
I mean, it's just all right. I'll just get into it. All right, everybody. Me and Andrew and Stefan saw Tomb Raider, directed by someone named Roar Uthog. I don't know how you. That's all I got for you.
Same as Roar. So
yeah. I was looking at his list, and he did like this movie called The Wave, which I think is like a Norwegian film. It's like a disaster movie, so it was supposed to be good. I never saw it, but he got Tomb Raider. So, and we got, who's in this? Do you want to know? I'm gonna tell you. Alicia, how do you say her name? Alicia Vikander.
Vikander.
Yeah. Well, she's Lara Croft.
Yeah.
And then we got Dominic West, love him. The Wire, Walton Goggins, and Daniel Wu from Into the Badlands. Those are just top four. That's all I'm going with.
Oh yeah, that's where I know that guy from.
Yeah. So, Andrew, what were your general thoughts on Tomb Raider? Did you love it? Did you hate it?
My general thoughts are that it was pretty good. I went in with really low expectations, and I think that helped.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Video game movies got a bad rap. I know there's like Silent Hill and Mortal Kombat, but there really aren't that many good ones, and there haven't been many in it at all recently. But honestly, this is up there with Mortal Kombat and Silent Hill, I'd say. I mean, it was pretty fucking good. It got what I wanted out of it. I mean, I like adventure shit. I've played every Uncharted Uncharted game, and I've played almost every Tomb Raider. So I don't know. I thought it was pretty good.
I mean, I'm right there with you, man. I enjoyed it. Had a good time. I was a little let down because I'm just gonna get into it.
Let's go.
I want some supernatural shit, man.
I knew you were gonna say that, man. Oh my god, I knew you were gonna say that.
Well, I mean, the new Tomb Raider games, which she's based off of, have a supernatural element.
Yeah.
And I think they should have just fucking went for it, dude. Wouldn't 1,000 fucking undead handmaids look fucking dope on screen? Yes, it would have.
Dude, I get you. I feel you on that one. But the thing is, I also kind of respect the Scooby-Doo angle where they're like, well, the monster is actually a human. Like they just go back into the. It might have been a budget thing too, but I don't know. I kind of respect the angle that they took as well. And but yeah, I can definitely see that being like kind of a minus for a lot of people. But I think I was okay with it.
I think the reason it bugged me so much is because I feel like a lot of these movies are still following like the Dark Knight formula, like play it safe, make it realistic, like it could really happen.
Yeah.
But Tomb Raider's more fun when it gets fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like especially in the new games, because you're like, oh, I've just been taking out dudes for a couple of hours, and then when you get to like the fucking weird shit, it's like, oh god, this is not the Tomb Raider I played on PS1, dude. This is a whole, and that's kind of what I was like hoping that they like. I didn't need them to dive super into it like they did in the game, but I would have liked a little more of that. And I mean, I don't think this is gonna get a sequel, so I think they should have just went for it, for better or worse.
Since we're going into gripes, and I know I might be fucking with the format here a little bit,
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
if it's okay, I think my main gripe was the bike scene stupid. That opening
dude,
bike
it's
scene,
so good.
Dude, I did not need that. I felt like, and they also had like a different. They had two different times they were introducing the island, and it was like, dude, just consolidate these and cut out the island in Himiko. Like, just consolidate those into one, and then cut out the bike scene. I just honestly didn't need that. But I think, I think other than that, it was pretty good. I mean, the relationship between her and her father great. I mean, it was really heartfelt, and it had good emotional scenes there. I mean, maybe a little schmaltzy for some, and I get that, but I'm a sappy motherfucker, so I was down with those scenes, and I'm a huge fan of Walton Goggins. I don't think Walton Goggins got to be super like Southern funny boy in this one because that really wasn't the role, but he was also really good in this, and Daniel Wu as well. I mean, Daniel Wu, another minor gripe was just very minor, not a huge thing, but like it seems like they kind of lost handle of the timing of their subplot whenever they're like, we're with you, Daniel Wu, all those dudes at the end, and then you go like 40 minutes of them in the fucking tomb, and then very end those dudes are just making it to the entrance, and the entrance wasn't sealed up, right? Not at first. It wasn't sealed up until the bomb went off, right? Maybe that's how they figured out the timing. Maybe they just, I don't know. What do you think?
I know at one point she tells him to go on and save the people. And he's waiting for her, and I think they come back, which is like we've missed that. And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go back for Laura." And I get you. Time frame's a little weird. And honestly, didn't really need it because, I mean, how else is she going to become fucking Lara Croft Tomb Raider? She might get out of that tomb by herself. I didn't really need that scene. I thought Daniel Wu was cool, but a little wasted in the movie.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
And I do like the bike scene, but I'm in 100% agreement with you, Andrew, that it could have been cut out of the movie. Because it really...
necessary.
Because one thing that I liked about the movie up until a certain point was that everything you saw Laura do, she needed.
Yes.
Later on. All of a sudden, I felt like the film went, oh, fuck, we have to end it, And then it was like, fast forward, she gets her pickaxe from the game, and it's like, she didn't, like, I don't know. I just, like, I like the bike racing because I thought it was fun, and I like riding bikes, and that was cool to watch. But...
I just don't think that really had anything to do as far as character development or anything. Like, it just shows that she's good on a bike. She can handle herself. Like, she's faster than the boy. She's smarter. She can outwit people. Yeah. But I think they could have shown that in some other way than a bike scene. Because this urban setting really has nothing to do with raiding tombs and shit. And I know like her being sort of like estranged from her family and all that. I thought that was cool, like it just felt like it could have been handled in a slightly different way, and it just kind of felt like a waste of time. And I mean, but the thing is, though, other than that, and like that the Daniel Wu thing with that subplot, they kind of lost the timing on near the very end there. I think it was pretty fucking solid, man. I mean, you got it just felt like they really like honed in on what makes the game good and how do you translate that. Because it's already cinematic. I think the reboot has a lot to thank Uncharted for, because they kind of saw Uncharted and like, okay, let's do that Lara Croft style. And they were largely successful. And that's what the movie's doing. And like the whole, like the plane sequence, when they're finally in the tomb, when they're on the island, like she's fucking raiding a tomb. Yeah. I mean, that's good. You got the pickaxe. You got the she gets injured. Yeah, the bow and arrow, and she gets injured and all that. There's like the little bombs. There's puzzles. The puzzles are there, sort of. Maybe they could have done a little bit better with the puzzles. Like you could have had a whole plot point on the puzzles, really, but they kind of were on the sidelines. But whatever. It was okay. It was okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty solid reboot. I just hate that it's like. I mean, I feel like it's going to get overshadowed. I feel like years from now, this will become like some kind of cult film. Like people will really enjoy it, but it's like you're riding the wave of fucking Black Panther still.
That's
like,
what kind of sucks, man. It's like Black Panther has this great. I mean, 5 weekends in a row, I think, is number one. It's like, God, that's awesome. But and then it's like, it's like it's revolutionary film and all that. But then there's this other side to it where it's kind of like kicking these other films to the side, man.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect Annihilation to garner a big audience, and I didn't really expect Tomb Raider, but I thought I'd make a little money because I think it's a good reboot. I think the girl who plays Lara Croft is great. I think she's a good choice. I think she can hold her own in the film. Like that fucking fight scene between her and that other girl was fucking dope. And I was like, damn, she's tough. Look at them abs. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I will say one other complaint I have is Walton Goggins wasn't Walton Goggins enough. I feel like he was a little reserved, and I feel like there was a conversation between him and the director. He's like, "Do you want me to go full Walton Goggins or hold back?" And he was like, "What I need." He's like, "Because I can go 110." He's like, "I need you to be 75." And I was like, "Damn it, Walton Goggins at 110 is what I want."
He could have been like evil Southern dude that says funny things that are also evil.
Yeah,
but he was played a little bit vanilla.
Well, I do like that the villain is he's just there and he's just worn down, dude. He's been there for 7 years. He has a family too, and I kind of like that about his villain, that it wasn't he did evil shit, but what wouldn't you do to get back to your family if you hadn't seen them in 7 years? And I feel like maybe that character was a little different in the beginning, which we don't get to see, but I kind of liked it too. But I just, when Walton Goggins goes full Walt Goggins on shit, it's so good.
I know, yeah.
But I think he did a terrific job as the villain of this. Dominic West as the dad was great. I don't have any problems with any of the cast. I felt like mainly it was a lot of you were saying, maybe they had, when they first started shooting, they're like, man, we got this 3-hour script. And then the studio's like, okay, you got to cut that down to 2 hours. And they're like, all right. And then they're like, now you got to cut it down to 1:45, and it's oh, fuck. So I just feel like there's probably more shot or more ideas that weren't, because I just feel like it sped up towards the end.
And to me too, I've been playing Tomb Raider since the first one came out. I remember it was the only time in Entertainment Electronic Gaming Monthly, the magazine, where Resident Evil 1 and Tomb Raider 1 came out the same fucking month, and it was the only time they ever had 2 games of the month because they were that fucking good. Maybe they did after that, I don't know, because once the internet came out, I kind of dropped the magazines for a large part. But Entertainment Electronic Gaming Monthly was EGM, huge part of my life before the internet, and I wanted to see what the game of the month was every fucking month, and there were 2 that month, and I bought both of them, and so I've been playing Tomb Raider since the beginning. And fucking one of the things I would have liked to have seen, and this isn't a huge minus or anything, but if you wanted to lean more into the game and the fanfare and all that fan service, it would have been cool to have a little bit more solo time, because within the games, I guess in the newer ones there's kind of an ensemble cast to a certain degree, but to just have her kind of going through the tomb alone.
Yeah,
I mean, whenever she was on the plane and she got the thing through her fucking side and had to pull it out and all that before she met her dad, that was a little bit of alone time. But I don't know, it kind of felt like, I don't know. I know you can't do the whole movie like that, but it would have been cool to have a little bit more of that. And I do think that probably Daniel Wu's part probably got cut the most. Mm-hmm. From the edit. It seems like I bet you anything the dad probably got most of 90% of his shit in the final film, and Daniel Wu just they just couldn't find the time for it.
Yeah, I mean it's a hard reboot. It's because they're following that new game, and that's cool, but like you said, I mean a game is 10, 12 hours.
Yes.
And to put that into a almost 2-hour movie it's hefty. It's a lot to do in a very short amount of time, but I think they for the most part it's solid. I like it more than ultimately the Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider movies are forgettable.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I definitely think this one will I won't say that it's totally memorable, but it's something that I know and when it comes out on Blu-ray or something, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll go rent that. I want to see that again. I need to I want to see it again, because when I went and saw it, I was just kind of sometimes we see stuff for the podcast because, people are interested. I'm not necessarily super interested in Tomb Raider. I played the original game, didn't really play anything after that, and then I played the first remake, and then I haven't played the second one. I want to. It's just there are other games, and so I'm not a huge fan, but I know Stefan was psyched, and it was the podcast is going to see it. So I was I'm going to go see this. And I enjoyed it. I had fun. And I will always take an Indiana Jones style movie any day of the week over most shit that comes out.
Yeah, man. When you got like the character running through fucking Southeast Asia, fucking going like what was she swinging on that thing in the port or whatever,
Mhm.
and like I like that scene a lot, and like just going like the boat on the way to the island, and then you're finally on the island, and then there's like this fucking like what you think is a supernatural tomb and all that. The adventure is there, man, and like you said, like this movie is not like mind-blowingly awesome, but it is highly competent. Like the director was very competent, the writer was competent. They were able to hone in on what the fans want to see. Alicia Vikander is great, and all the main cast fantastic. And I don't know, man. I mean, I would love to see a sequel. Honestly, I think they set up a sequel very nicely. Again, highly competent writing. They set up the world to where she can go anywhere in the world near the end there, and you got a new villain out of it and all that. So, I mean, what more do you want, man? I mean, the action scenes were great, and she's like, dude, my favorite action scenes whenever she got the bow and arrow and she's taking out dudes. Anytime you got somebody with a bow and arrow taking out people with guns, count me in, sign me up. I'm fucking there. I love it. I thought that was great, and I like the final fight scene with Goggins. I thought was pretty good too. She's kicking him in the balls and shit, like, and then she makes him fucking eat that fucking finger, dude. That's the shit. That was good, and that was fucking good, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, I for a movie that I was hoping would lean into the supernatural elements of Tomb Raider, I got some jumps in there, man.
Yeah, you got some, right?
When they pull the coffin back, I was like, oh my god, maybe they'll do it, because she looked pretty preserved. And then my scientific mind started going. I was like, oh, she's gonna deteriorate because air is hitting her.
Yeah,
and then, but it still got me. I thought that was cool. And then when she sets up, I was like, what the fuck did she set up for? And it's like a mechanism or something. And I was like, that's pretty cool. I like that. But yeah, man, I mean, you could do a lot worse. I don't think it deserves its 49% rating.
No way, dude. This is at least a 61 or so, 60, 65 maybe.
I'd put it at I'd put it at this. You better eat it today, because it's going to go bad tomorrow. Something like that.
That tomato?
Yeah, that tomato. Better use it today. You better make that Sammy today.
I like that.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's good. I definitely think it'll find an audience on home video for sure. I think it'll be a fun movie to sit down with friends, have a couple of beers, and like be like, oh yeah, I like Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider's cool. And yeah, man, I mean, it's nothing, like you were saying, it's nothing like outstanding, but it's just kind of fun and enjoyable. And you need that shit.
It knows what it is, and it gives you what you want out of it.
Yeah.
It's a movie that accomplishes all of its own goals, basically, and really that's what it is, and it's just a fun ride, and basically that's it. And you know what? It's not just a fun ride, actually. It's a fun ride, plus it has, honestly, again, the emotional scenes between her and her father are good. They're good. They're competently written, and there's emotion there, and you really feel for her and her father. It's really about those two, and everybody else is kind of secondary, and it was, that was very welcome. I was very surprised that was handled so well, and I got to give it up for Roar Uthaug or whatever his name is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I thought the father scenes, I was a little nervous because sometimes that shit like can be super heavy-handed, and it's like, gotta get it. They fucking love each other. But I felt like it was good. I mean, it was a father-daughter movie at the heart of Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, there's that really emotional scene where she's like, I can't lose you. I just got you back, when she has to solve the puzzle for Walton Goggins' character.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, it's true, man. She did just get you back. I get it.
Yes.
I was like, Papa, no.
No, Papa.
Yeah, but no, I thought, yeah, man, in comparison to the other Tomb Raider movies, I'd prefer this one. Is it a perfect video game movie? I don't think we're ever going to get it, man.
Nope.
Because I just don't think, I don't think that stuff translates well, and also to translate it well and to pay homage to the game. You kind of have to suspend disbelief at some point. Because some video games don't make a lot of fucking sense. Silent Hill doesn't make a lot of fucking sense. It's weird. But the movie's solid. I like it. I think it's a good horror movie. And I think Tomb Raider falls into that. Like, I think I'd put it as my number 3, dude. Like Mortal Kombat, Silent Hill, Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that's kind of the lineup, right?
I mean, some people might debate it, but they're wrong.
It's definitely up there, and I mean, if you're listening to this, you obviously don't care about spoilers if you haven't seen it, but definitely go check it out. And if you're listening to this and this movie has already come out on Blu-ray or rental or something, iTunes or whatever, definitely check it out because I mean, we can be critical sometimes, but I think Superhouse does kind of lean towards we're a little bit easier on movies than a lot of people, but I mean it's I don't know, man. Take it out. Definitely if you played the games, if you played the reboot game and you like that, then definitely at least rent this because this was much better than a 49 or whatever it got. I don't know. I was just kind of upset actually, and I recorded myself on Instagram, the like little stories thing or whatever, and you can see my reaction like going into it. I was like, I'm doing this for the podcast, and then that's basically I was just saying that, and then after it I recorded again. I was like, you know what, I was wrong. It was good. You know, I'm glad I went to go see it. So hopefully other people will film the same way. Man, we really went off the rails with the format here, but I guess we just had a lot to say. Was there anything else we needed to cover as far as this?
I mean, I think the format's good if we have a lot of people on, but I mean, the thing about this movie is it's kind of short and sweet, man. To me, it kind of sums up the movie. I mean, there's cool action scenes for sure. It's Tomb Raider. Yeah. You know, there's a really badass fight between her and this guy that's tracking her that I thought was awesome, and I was kind of scared for Laura.
Oh yeah, that was badass. Yeah.
And like what I was talking about earlier about how she's like everything she learned previously when you start the movie to like when she's on her own, like you kind of get the back and forth. Like there's a reason that we saw her like fighting a girl at the beginning, you know, and that's what I really liked because that's how the game was. It was like you were learning all this stuff as you went. Like you get a bow and arrow and you were shit at it. It's like you can only shoot it this far and it's only this powerful. And you're like, God damn it. I want to take that guy away so far away. He is so close.
That's why I had no problem with the boxing scene, of course, that opened up the movie, because that definitely connects with other shit later on in the film. But there's no bike scene at the fucking end of in on the island, so it's just like, what is this? And I was really like, oh, this movie has a 49 for this reason. Whenever that scene was going on, but after that, it really turned me around.
Yeah, I mean, I like the scene because I like riding bikes. So that was cool, but
I like bikes a lot too, but I just didn't think it fit, I guess.
Well, I mean, it would have fit if it would have come around. Like if she was on, if she was playing like a hide and go seek game with like some of the the mercenary dudes, but she never does. And that's one thing that I wish they would have done more, her stalking at night, because in the game you do a lot of stuff at night. Very little in the day, and I wish she would have had like some kind of like up in a tree shooting the bow and arrow to like get Daniel Wu's character out of the situation, or because then I mean obviously she's going to get knocked out, or there's going to be some kind of thing where it's like you got to solve the puzzle where I'm gonna kill your dad, like that's coming. It's a pretty by the book action adventure movie. Nothing in it's too like I've never seen that before, but I feel at some point after you watch so many movies, what's surprising? You can kind of sit down and there might be someone who deviates from it and you're like, oh man, that was kind of cool, I didn't see that coming. But I mean, when you get down to the basis of like an action adventure movie, they follow beats, man. And this does it, and it does it well, and that's all you can ask for. I didn't need Tomb Raider to reinvent the wheel. I didn't expect it to, and I had fun.
Yeah, Mark Bernard on Fat Man on Batman, he also liked it, and he's kind of saying the same things that we're saying as well, and he can be really rough on movies sometimes.
Yeah.
So let's I'm gonna do a little impromptu format. So what were your favorite did you have a favorite action scene in this?
Oh, you're gonna hate me for this one.
It's a fucking bike. That's the main one you liked. That's your favorite fucking action out of Tomb Raider.
Man, listen, there's not a lot of bike movies out there. I got to take it when I can get it, okay?
Oh
we
my
got
god!
premium rush like 3 years ago, so calm down, Andrew. Let me.
I never saw that actually.
It's fun. It's a fun action adventure movie, man, for sure. But I'd probably say
That's hilarious.
I really like her falling into the water and the whole action scene with her like on the plane, and when she goes, "Are you fucking?" or like that whole scene where she's like, "Are you kidding me?" Because then the plane starts to fall off, and I was like, it reminds me of playing the game. I like that one, and then I'd have to say like the final fight between her and Walton Goggins. I thought was really well done. It was short and sweet and to the point. Like I didn't need it to go on forever. I needed them to tussle, and then her get the upper hand and shove that motherfucking finger down his throat because he hurt Papa.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would say, yeah, like I said before, Goggins, and then the what did I say again? The fucking God, I just said it earlier, man. I'm losing my mind. It's been a long day.
Yeah, I hear you.
The bow and arrow scene. The bow and arrows.
Yeah,
I love that one. I thought that was really cool, and that also reminded me of the game. And then the plane would be a close third, I guess. Were there any characters that kind of bugged you or anything?
Not really, man. I don't. I mean, like you kind of have your core cast with the four, you know, Dominic West, Walton Goggins, Daniel Wu, and Laura Croft. Yeah, nothing really bugged me. I kind of wanted more from Kristen Scott Stewart, the older lady who's like sort of her mom or a caretaker who might be part of Trinity.
Oh, the evil. Yeah. She's definitely set up as the next villain. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, ooh, I want to know more about her.
Yeah, she was good. Yeah, I don't think that there were any real. I'm kind of the same with you. Nobody really bugged me really. I mean, even the people at the pawn shop, they were actually handled really well.
Yeah.
They were good. Their comedy pretty much landed as well. So it was kind of weird. They must have not been England. No, it was London. And aren't guns illegal? I guess they were selling guns illegally, or maybe this is just that's the fantasy aspect of the show. I don't know, but I was thinking that while I was watching it. But I did also really love when she got the two guns in the very, very end.
Yeah.
And it kind of was like another fan service thing, but it was, I don't know, man. Like, you can have fan service, just do it well, and I think that it was done well, so.
Yeah, I think it was a sweet little nod to the next movie. I mean, I don't necessarily need to see those guns show up in the next film, but if they do, they do. If they don't, whatever. I thought it was fun. Nick Frost showing up, was cool.
Yep.
And yeah, man, I don't really have super complaints. I mean, I wish more supernatural shit, but me, I love my creatures.
Yeah. I was expecting you to say that.
And if they hadn't even put it in, if they hadn't done it in the new game series, I don't even think I would have minded it,
Yeah.
But it's like they made it pretty prevalent, and there's some weird shit in that game. It's pretty fucking gory too. And I was like, damn, I'd like to see that on the screen.
I was kind of half expecting it to really go the supernatural route as well, because, I mean, it was set up that way for sure, but also, isn't that what Uncharted 1 did, where it's all regular, and then the very end of the game, it's like it goes supernatural at the last second.
Yeah, you fight these creepy crawly creatures. I was like, God damn it! That was the one thing that bugged me about Uncharted. Side tangent was I just wanted an action adventure game. I didn't want creatures and stuff in it. And then I get to it, and I'm like, God damn it! It's cool, I guess, but I don't really think Uncharted set itself.
The setup wasn't there, whereas this had the setup, is what you're saying.
Yeah. I felt more so that just the images they shown, but I mean that's where most folklore and ghost stories start, as with something like that, and then people exaggerate and say she is the cause of it and blah blah blah, and she. But I don't know. I was just really hoping that they would.
I definitely see you on that one, but I was just like, all right, Scooby-Doo ending. I get it. Cool. Sounds good to me. I was cool with it.
I mean, and it also sets it up that there is a supernatural element to it.
Yeah.
And I mean, not to say that if they do get to make a second Tomb Raider, that they couldn't just add it. I mean, just this tomb wasn't supernatural. The next one could be.
Oh, for sure.
So, I mean, I think it might have been a little bit of them playing it safe, because oh, if this does well, we might alienate an audience that doesn't like supernatural action, want to see that.
I think it was just budget, man. I think that was just a lot of CG they didn't want to spend money on. You know,
but if they wanted to see it,
if they made, if this, God, if the timing was a little better, they would have made a lot more money, probably. You know, I don't know. I think Black Panther made a 5 Pete. Has it been 5 weeks already? Maybe 4 or something. It's dude, it's making just all the money in the fucking world, and so it just had to compete with that again.
I wonder if Pacific Rim will take it out.
Only because it'll be 6 weeks since then.
Yeah,
it'll be that week. I mean, Pacific. I don't know. I mean, I'm into Pacific Rim, but I wonder if what the everybody else will be. You know, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, also you got the new Wes Anderson movie drops the same day too.
And I do want to see that Isle of Dogs, dude. Looks pretty funny.
Might be a double review Superhouse podcast Sunday.
Monday. Looking like. So check this out. I'm on the box office subreddit, and it's saying that Tomb Raider tops international box office with 84.5 million. Fucking good. That's good. Yeah. At least it's getting something here, man. I think everybody's just in America still going nuts over Black Panther, which they should, but you know, got to make some room for other movies as well at some point here.
I wonder. I mean, it's probably just nice to. Well, I mean, I was talking to a friend the other day about how I was like, man, it's weird how the 3 movies I've already seen to begin this year are Black Panther, basically an all-black cast, strong black characters. Second movie I saw, Annihilation, 4 strong women scientist characters. You don't see in sci-fi movies very often. It's always one surrounded by a bunch of males. And then Tomb Raider, it's a badass woman action star. I was like, damn, that was a good start to the year. Might go downhill after Pacific Rim, but John Boyega is the main star of that, so, you know, and it looks like the cast is pretty mixed in that as well. So it's pretty interesting this summer because I feel like things are changing.
For sure, man. I mean, yeah, like every movie, like you said, yeah, every movie is basically got the diversity going on so far. I mean, it might ultimately end up with being white males being number one, but by like a much smaller margin than it used to be. That's sure.
All these movies are going up against Avengers Infinity War, so we all know how that's going to go.
Yeah, for sure. And that's mostly white dudes as well.
Yeah, and then you have a new Star Wars movie with a bunch of white people. I mean, yeah, basically that's a bunch of white people too.
So don't worry, white people. You still got yours.
We're going to be okay. We can still like our movies.
Everything's going to be all right. Spider-Man's still white for now. You know, so there you go. Fucking A. Oh, yeah, it says right here, domestically, Black Panther was number 1 again, but Tomb Raider is number 2. But number 1 in the world is Tomb Raider, so that's pretty cool. I'm liking that. I'm liking those numbers. 84 is pretty fucking good, man. It's no slouch, dude. That's sequel talk at that point, I think.
Depends on how much they spend. And I mean, it's not like any of the actors, and they were like actors. You know, it's not like you got Russell Crowe in that shit or something.
They probably didn't. Yeah, dude. They probably didn't. The acting budget probably wasn't too huge, and yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if like it being kind of European set and kind of being like set has like a more international vibe in the film. That probably helped it in international markets as well. I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking on the top of my head here. But yeah, that's cool. I'm glad I actually looked into that.
We're excited to see there's one more, maybe a trilogy of Tomb Raider films. And, you know, I can always hope the sequel's a little better and get some of the supernatural things. If it doesn't, whatever. I had fun, man. It's because movies are expensive in Seattle. So when I spend $14 for a standard definition movie...
Welcome to city life, man.
It's been so long, and I hate it. Just movie-wise. I love living in cities, but they spend those pants.
Spend those buckaroos.
Well, I went up to the theater, and I thought that there's a standard showing at 7. I was like, ooh, I'll see that. And he was like, no, it's an IMAX. And I was like... how much? He's like, over $20. I was like, man, I like that first Tomb Raider game, but not $20. I can buy the new game for that.
Yeah, exactly. That's hours of entertainment.
Yeah, not almost 2.
Cool, man. Final thoughts for Tomb Raider?
I'd say if you're interested and you like Tomb Raider, definitely check it out. If the price tag's a little too hefty at the theater, definitely see it at that like the early morning show, or if your theater has like a cheap theater day. I think that's a good movie to go see if you're just by yourself, you're wanting to watch something fun. Tomb Raider's great. If not, hold out for that. It's definitely something to watch with a group of people who enjoy Tomb Raider or just badass action movies and have several beers. And I think you'll have a great time watching it with good friends. I don't think you should miss it, because how often do you get badass women action movies? It's very rare. So go see it. And yeah, that's all I got to say.
Yeah, I agree. I think definitely it's a must see if you've played and liked the games, especially the reboots in the past few years. It's also if you're a fan of Uncharted, if you're a fan of Indiana Jones, of course, this you definitely will. I want to say definitely, but more than likely you will like this film. And again, very, very competent film, and knew what it was doing, and it accomplished it. And I had a great time at the theater. Actually, I was not expecting that. I really wasn't. I don't know what it was. I guess it was the Rotten Tomatoes score, but and it seems like the international market has spoken. So hopefully, dude, if the second one comes out, definitely we'll be seeing it. So
Okay. So, Stefan, what were your general thoughts of Tomb Raider?
To quote a great philosopher, trash!
Damn, really?
First off, yeah, I would have to say pretty weak. I thought the action, most of the action was pretty good, fun to watch. It looked good. Alicia Vikander was cool, but it didn't really feel like they had much of a character in mind. Even in the games, like the character is really expressed through you and how you play the game, in battles and whatnot, and puzzles and stuff like that. So, my expectations weren't super duper high, but I found myself looking at my phone and stuff during any time she would talk to Dominic West as her father, anytime they started talking to each other, or anytime they were trying to like force some kind of emotion to make it seem more like you need to be watching this right now. I got pretty bored. So yeah, overall, I didn't really enjoy it too much.
Damn. Well, me and Andrew did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I personally just went in with like pretty low expectations. Like, I mean, I probably wouldn't have seen it unless, and I said this before, I probably wouldn't have seen it unless we weren't like, if there wasn't a podcast, I would have just waited for rental.
Yeah. Yeah. Aside from calling it trash, I'm gonna try and be more constructive here.
Yeah. Did you like the new Tomb Raider? Did you like the new Lara Croft or not?
Yeah, I liked her a lot. She carried the movie really well for what she had to work with, basically. Like her athleticism, great. I kind of feel bad for her that she trained 7 months on this script,
Yeah.
You kind of felt like, well, all right, well, that's cool. It'll get her to put her mark on it. Maybe she'll be a leading lady who does a lot of like physical kind of like roles like this. That'd be kind of interesting.
Okay.
And yeah, overall, I liked it. I think the one in the game is in the newer games is probably the best. Actually, aside from Tomb Raider Oblivion, that's probably my favorite Tomb Raider game. It had to do with like Norse mythology and stuff, and it was like a really good game. And that was like your classic Lara Croft, kind of still buxom and full of attitude and stuff. Probably a little sexist, but that was probably my favorite then. But I like the new grounded Lara Croft, and to be completely honest, I've never actually seen either of the Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider movies. Feels good to get that off my chest.
I was saying it was definitely better than those.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine.
So one beef I had with the movie playing the first game, I haven't played Rise of the Tomb Raider, or is that what that one's called?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't played that one, the second one. But I was a little disappointed because I really thought they were going to lean heavily into not like a hard R horror element or supernatural element, but I like do that, and I kind of came around to Andrew's perspective on it, but I really missed out on that because the thing I liked so much about the new reboot game was that you learn how to take out mercenaries, and then it's like, well, man, this is getting pretty easy. I'm pretty badass right now, and then it's like, oh yeah, you want to take on giant samurai motherfuckers? And it's like, not really, but okay, let's do it. You know, and I really liked that. Just like it kind of went into this weird horror, supernatural thing that I did not see coming in the when I first played the first game or the reboot game. And I kind of wish like it kind of set itself up to be like a cool like Japanese ghost story, or something. And I don't know, man. Sometimes it bugs me that we have to get so realistic with stuff because. You know, I mean, I'm just trying to think of the last time I saw an adventure film with like a horror element to it, you know?
Yeah.
And
definitely.
You know, I really can't place one.
Yeah. I totally agree. One thing, there's a little bit of that in Rise of the Tomb Raider as well, a little bit of like a supernatural element in both games, which also, in terms of those types of games, those contemporaries like the Drake games, the Nathan Drake games, they have a lot of really well written elements of like supernatural and stuff like that. So when this movie started and they were talking about, you know, taking basically kind of from the first game, I was like, yeah, there's going to be some fucking magic, or at least like, I think the first game there was like some crazy storm, you know, or something like that at the end, that at least you didn't really see like a ghost or some kind of mystical being as much as there was some kind of like unexplainable magic that affected the environment or whatever. So spoiler, by the end of it, when it turned out to be like this weird disease, and they, you know, everything was just kind of like, again, my biggest pet peeve with movies is when the movie points you to something and says, this is that thing, look at it, you know, like that whole, when they uncovered the grave of the Japanese blood queen, you know, Himiko. It's like Himiko, it was like, you know, it's a disease, she was trying to sacrifice herself and this and that, and like you could have set that up at the first 10-15 minutes of the movie rather than all the stuff of her being a bike courier and all that, you know. She knows how to fight and stuff like that, which I appreciate. Like her life is kind of extreme already, but you know, I don't know. They could have, essentially for me, they could have started it in fucking Japan with her already traveling and piecing things together, and we meet characters on the way. It was kind of a meandering snore. But I agree with what you were saying, your points. Like, I wish they wouldn't have tried to like ground it too much in reality, because it was already like, you know, I don't know, you know, let's make movies fun again. Let's make America movies fun again.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I was really hoping they'd kind of, because I think the Angelina Jolie ones kind of leaned heavily into like some supernatural business. So weirdness would happen in those. I don't remember. It's been years since I've seen them. Yeah. I'm not rewatching them for this podcast. Love you guys, but yeah, I mean, I was really hoping they would kind of get into maybe some of that weird, whatever the fuck happens at the end of that game where you're fighting, like you're trudging through that fucking like,
I was like,
water and shit, and I was like, what the fuck is going on with this game?
Blood, I am fucking like, I would have flipped 180 on my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I also agree with like, I felt like also too, besides the bike race scene, which I enjoyed and it was one of my favorite scenes, but I don't think it had very much to do with the movie and they could have easily cut it. But I felt like it did a pretty good job of like showing you something that she used later on in the film to help her overcome like an adversary, which I was like, this is cool, because that's how the game kind of played out. Like you got something, it's like now you got to learn how to use it, because you're going to suck at it at first. So you got to learn how to take this guy out differently. But then later on, you become like a badass with the pickaxe. You know, it's like the only thing you want to use. Because I found in that game, like I'd much rather use a bow and arrow and a pickaxe than a gun if I got one.
Yeah, totally. I only ever use my AK if I'm overwhelmed. You know, otherwise I'm like the fucking angel of death with that bow.
And I kind of like that aspect. And then I felt like right after she meets her dad on the beach, after she kills the dude,
Yeah.
I felt like after that scene, it was just like, oh shit, we got to end this movie. We only got like an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, you guys were just like setting it up pretty well. Like I saw her learning stuff and like becoming Tomb Raider, you know? And then I felt like they lost that because of, pacing issues, or maybe the movie was supposed to be longer, then they cut it down a lot because the studio didn't test well. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, I think generally I enjoyed it. I want to ask though, Walton Goggins, what'd you think?
I felt like he was okay. He's one thing that is evident is that he's also a very capable dramatic actor. Aside from being a comedic actor, which I think he's more popularly known for, kind of his quippiness. But in this film, I would have actually rather seen him like kind of like, I don't know, a little bit more flavor to his character. It was pretty stiff, I think. I mean, he was good. The characterization of it was pretty like empty. Like when he goes to shoot the little slave villager guy, he shoots him, and it's like I almost would have wanted like because I feel like Walter Goggin could sell one-liners, like good one-liners, even if they're cheesy. Like he can sell them pretty good. But I just wish it wouldn't have been like if he'd have shot him or something. Even if, I don't know, I just feel like there was something lacking with his character, and but he seemed to pull off kind of like the obsessed villain good enough for what they needed. What else? Yeah, he was cool. The fight between him and Laura was kind of cool. Like she's tiny. Alicia Vikander is a little tiny little thing. And I think Walter Goggins isn't that much bigger, but it was kind of cool to see him kind of being like a tough guy in that moment and then showing more of what she's capable of. But yeah, that's pretty much my opinion on his character.
Yeah, I thought he was. I felt like that he was like, all right, I'm gonna go 110 Walton Goggins for you.
Yeah.
And then the director went, all right, we need you down to 75%.
Yeah, I wanted Christopher Walken from The Rundown, you know.
Yeah,
something like that.
But I thought the one thing I did like about his character was that I liked that he wasn't like super obsessed with it. Like he was only obsessed because he himself wanted to get back to his family.
Yeah.
And it's very rare that in like, I guess, a movie like this or in a game, you get that kind of depth to a character. Because he's almost like Dominic West's character. Like they're just trying to get back to their home.
Yeah.
Dominic West is trying to keep him from opening up whatever the fuck this thing is. Yeah. And Walton Goggins is like, I don't give a shit. I got in this job and I want out of it. And to get out of it, I have to find this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I kind of like that about his villain, because while he wasn't like the best villain I've seen on screen, I felt like his motivations were more pure than most. I mean, not to say that like, hey, I'm going to kill some random farm worker because he's like having a stroke is the right thing to do. Like he's a villain for sure. But like he was made a villain. Like maybe when him and Dominic West got onto the island, maybe they weren't that bad. Maybe he wasn't that bad of a dude, you know? And maybe just 7 years on a fucking island with a bunch of dudes and people who don't, you know, you have nothing in common with, could make you into a pretty terrible human being.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that aspect about it, because he does mention his kids several times, so it's not just like a one-off where it's like, oh yeah, I do remember that, but he was always like, I'm just trying to get back to my girls. And I did enjoy that because there's some kind of parallel between him and, you know, Dominic West's character, who was Laura's dad, which is obviously he's the guy you're rooting for, because Walton Goggins is like, you're like, oh shit, when you see him, he's like, he's the bad guy. Yeah. But I did like that it was kind of like, I felt a little bit honestly, I much would have rather seen his character do a lot more and make his turn a little later in the movie that he was bad. Like, I feel like there needed to be another villain almost.
I thought they were going to go that way,
sidekick, or something. But, you know, I feel like a lot of it, I did enjoy the movie. I didn't have high expectations for it. I thought it was just like a fun action movie. But there is stuff that I don't think it deserves like its rotten score necessarily, but
the score,
I wouldn't say it's trash. It's like 49%.
Oh yeah, that's pretty generous, I think. I don't, you know, I didn't super hate it. I was just kind of bored. Anytime the characters started talking, like I actually really did like the action stuff. I wish it was more like the A-Team, where it was just like one thing after another. That would have been nuts. But maybe that's a budgetary concern, you know, or something. One thing that really bugged me was that one, Dominic West as the father was still alive. And two, that his whole thing was like, you know, I left you that clue so you would, you know, never come here. And I'm just like, why didn't you fucking destroy all the Hitomi shit before you left? You know what I mean? Like, that being the catalyst for the whole story, I was like, this is useless. Yeah. You know, I was just like, one, if he was dead, I think, and she got to the island and maybe found maybe not his carcass so much as some of his things or something that told a little bit more of the story, would have been kind of cool. You know, a big part of her is that she finds shit, and something like that might have been cool. But otherwise, it was just kind of weird for her to just show up and then him be like, God damn it. You know? Yeah. That was what bugged me about that whole her ending up on the island and everything in the first place. And I was just like, really?
Yeah, I kind of, because like, isn't it in the game they're just kind of like going off on like a friend trip or something?
I forget how exactly that starts. Yeah, but she's already like an explorer to some degree, and she's taken after her father in that way. I honestly wish, and I don't see how they could have missed this, but just copy the damn game. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the new Tomb Raider games, the stories in them aren't like as superb as the Drake games. You know, there's not as much TLC put into it, but the games themselves are fantastic in terms of playability and game mechanics and stuff like that. That's why I love them. But that first game has just enough for you to be like, for you to hang on, you know, like Walter Goggins would have been a great cult leader, that was in the game. And just like all your pieces were there. I didn't see why they had to rewrite a whole thing in order to make it fly, because it was kind of mediocre.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would have been better just to be like, I mean, I agree with you. I think a lot of that was just kind of like, we needed her to meet her dad and whatever. And I don't know. I agree. I mean, I enjoyed the movie, but like I was really hoping he was dead, and then that would set her off into some other thing, and like, you know, more of her like exploring. And like, I think it would have been cool if she would have found like another tomb, because there's those little tombs you could go into in the game. And explore. And I would have liked to have seen, like, instead of her dad up in that cave, like maybe he found some underground thing, so it's like, oh, it's another tomb. And she could have found like his skeletal body or something, you know, like he did die there. And you know, maybe maybe there's like a puncture wound or a bullet wound in his you know, rib cage or something, so like Walton Goggins, like, oh shit, he did kill him. You know, and he didn't die right away or something. But you know, and then she found more clues. Like, I don't mind the like going to look for your father's story. I just felt like instead of him, Daniel Wu's character would have been a better sidekick than Dominic West's old man Croft, Crazy Man Croft. You know, and having him and just having Daniel Wu's character kind of be like the, oh shit, I don't know what I'm in for. I don't raid tombs. I'm just, you know, I just said my papa got killed and I didn't know what happened to him. And I'm just, you know, I'm real good at driving boats, you know? And kind of just ends up with Laura. That way, if we do get a sequel or whatever, that would be like Laura's sidekick, kind of like in the Uncharted games, you know, the old man. And it was cool to see Daniel Wu play something different. What's he instead of Into the Badlands.
Oh,
he's like the main dude.
Yeah, that's why it looked familiar. He looked familiar.
But yeah, I felt like, you know, Walton Goggins, great casting. Love the new Tomb Raider, the new Laura. I just felt like, you know, I didn't really need to see her dad again. I didn't feel like it was really prevalent. I thought the flashback scenes were enough to know that, yeah, they love each other. They're a family. Get it. She's sad he's gone. Done.
One thing that really bothered me overall was like the comedic beats of the film. I kept rolling my eyes in the back of my head throughout the movie, like from minute one, like joke one, and that at the end when they say something about like, we're not dead yet, and she's like, no shit, and it's mirroring something he said earlier. Like all the moments where they were trying to be funny, I was just like felt were really cringy.
Yeah, the only one I really liked was but it felt kind of flat, was the one where she like gets into the plane and she's like, are you kidding me, when it starts to fall off the cliff. And I was like, all right, I like that moment, but it was not Yeah, I did not hit as well as it should have.
Mhm.
And I don't know if it's like script writing or like acting at that point.
I always like my barometer for films. Sorry to interject, but my barometer for films being good or bad or whatever. If you find any movie, if there's any movie where a character goes seriously or really, then get out when you can. That always bugs me. I'm like, yeah, fucking really, you wrote it. Like you're asking me whether or not, like, you know, I'm just like, that to me, it's odd writing. Not that a moment like that can't be funny. But yeah, I think it's the timing and in this instance, kind of one of those same things where it's just like, just have her say nothing at all or scream.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, and I think also, I mean, I don't feel like she cursed and like Daniel Wu's character did. But it was like, there's really no point to have like the coarse language in it.
Yeah, totally.
You know, like there was really no like. I mean, they're like the only two who curse. I don't think Walton Goggins' villain character. I mean, maybe he says a curse word, but it's like he's the villain. He's got to. It's like, I don't know when she says. I don't know. It'd be like someone in Star Wars saying, "God damn it" or something. It's like, oh, I don't need that.
Yeah, I feel dirty now.
Yeah.
Quit yelling at my childhood. Quit swearing at my innocence.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I just went in with like super low expectations and was pleasantly surprised I enjoyed it. But I do see everything you're saying and everything that Andrew really liked about it, because Andrew really liked it. I get it. But I also get a lot of your points, and I definitely think it could have been a more solid script. And just like the same runtime, just a lot, just a lot tighter.
Yeah. Yeah, and she was, she was great. Alicia Vikander was a good Laura. I would watch a sequel if they got their shit together. But I mean, how do you really even know? Because when I saw the trailer for this, I was like, it looks like Tomb Raider. Like, it looks like something I am into, and then I think I was really hesitant to go see it. Otherwise, I wasn't even reading any reviews or anything like that. And partly I was broke this last week, but also I was just like hanging on hope, like I love Lara Croft, but the real meat of this character and the best fun you're going to have is playing the games, man. The stories aren't super great, but you're a part of it and you're making those decisions through her, and that's what it's all about, man. It's about climbing and leaping and fucking dudes up and leaving armies to waste.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely I wish they would have because you go through so much brutal shit in the first game.
Yeah,
the remake, and I think they did a good job of dirtying her up and like putting her through the ringer in a movie version. But come on, man, give me a little more.
Yeah,
but I don't know, man. You make a good point. I kind of want to see all the stuff I went through in the game, and I didn't have to do that in real life or train for just a movie production. Mm-hmm. But I would have liked to have seen her use the bow and be bad at it and then get better through the film. Mm-hmm. I mean, I thought it was good that they did tie it in that she could use it as a kid. Mm-hmm. But it's like, how long has it been since you've been in art and taken archery? Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you don't lose it, but you're gonna get rusty, just like with anything you don't practice.
Yeah.
But I would definitely have liked to have seen her missed a shot and been like, fuck, and then been like, redraw it or something and be like, set her pose differently and be like, she's learning.
Yeah.
She's remembering or whatever. And I did that scene where she just picks it up. She's like, and says that quote to her father to go save Daniel Wu's character. I was just like, really, this seems a bit soon. And also, I'm going to say more stuff should have happened during the nighttime.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because who runs into battle by yourself against armed soldiers? Yeah. In the daylight, it's just the thing to do is save people during nighttime, right? Because people will go to sleep. And I thought that was a little I think she should have went through that, and then someone got the upper hand, and then when she woke up, her dad tried to come and save her, and then they do the scene where Walton Goggins is like, open it, and she's like, I don't want to lose you, whatever. I I just felt like that action scene could have been a lot cooler and like way
Yeah.
more stealthy, because I never got to see her do the stealth stuff that you get to do in the game.
Totally. Yeah. And they kind of fucked things up right when she had the bow and arrow too, because she went into his tent looking for the journal. And then he shows
Yeah.
up there and she's got an arrow. Like, if I was her, silently kill, like, just as you would do in the game, silently kill that motherfucker, grab your journal back, and she could have made her way to her father without having ever killed anybody else in that moment. But then it would have ruined their action scene. And I was just like, just kill that motherfucker. He's right there. What are you saving him for? You know, like,
Yeah.
and at this point, I think she had just already killed that other guy. I don't know. Maybe the rule for being a good guy in a movie like this is you have to have your life has to be immediately threatened for you to kill. Otherwise, you're one of the bad guys or something. But I was like, why even put her in that tent with him? You know, it was cool when she slid behind that thing in the tent, though. She just looked cool. She's really cute.
That's the thing. Like the new look, man, it looks like she can like handle herself. It just needs, you know, either writing or better directing. I know the director is like a Norwegian or director, so I'm sure some stuff gets lost in translation.
Those guys always miss the mark.
But
Scandinavian to direct American properties.
Yeah.
Seem to see it in a very different way.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know why it's so hard for people to adapt a video game.
Yeah, it's like here's you know a usable story for a decent movie that would be emotionally engaging right here in this game. Oh, I love it. I want to make a movie of that. Get all the money, get all the producers, get everything ready, and it's like we're gonna completely start from the ground up. Like, you know, just like damn it, like why? I totally agree. There must be some kind of like mystical video game movie curse or something. We really need to look into that.
Yeah, right.
Curse of the shitty video game movies. You know, like I think Mortal Kombat is probably the highest echelon of video game movie. You know,
well, I told Andrew it's Mortal Kombat. Silent Hill, I think, is a pretty damn good video game adaptation because it's a pretty solid horror film in itself.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the story's a little wonky, but that's fine. I mean, Silent Hill 2 doesn't make a fuck ton of sense.
Yeah.
And you know, like I was saying, he was like, "What would be your third?" And I was like, "I might put Tomb Raider, the new one, in there because it looks like it, you know." And besides it not doing a lot of things, I think it does. You know, it does feel like a Tomb Raider movie and a video game. And you know, I mean, I liked it more than Assassin's Creed. So.
Oh yeah. I heard that one was pretty boring.
You know, I didn't mind it as much, but I know a lot of people hated it. I mean, it's not a great film, but I didn't think it was terrible. But, you know, maybe time will tell, and maybe I'll be right, or maybe I'll rewatch and be like, oh, I was wrong. That was fucking terrible. I don't know. I was smoking that day.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know why it's so hard. I mean, video games are cool, and I mean, I know the story's much longer, you know, but it's like, I feel like half the time you could condense that game down.
Yeah, essentially what we saw were like all the cutscenes from a shitty Tomb Raider game.
Yeah,
in my opinion, you know, like it was. That's what the thing about video. I think the real leap in translation there is that games are meant to be played, you know, and the story that comes with them, it can oftentimes be really great or whatever. But the story comes second to like you actually playing the game. So maybe there's some kind of part of the equation there that they just really haven't figured out. I think if they attempted like a Pixar-style Zelda film, it would probably be amazing, or like the Mario film that's going to come out eventually. You know, maybe animation is the way to go, but so far it's pretty rough waters.
Yeah, I mean, I think like even when Netflix was talking about that like Zelda television like live action series, I was like, all right. I was like, I think it's doable. I just think you need to like lean into the fucking world though. Like, it has to be Zelda. Everything you see, even if you're like, I know. I don't know, man. I mean, I think it's all doable. It's just you got to have the right people and.
But it was pretty underwhelming. I would say if you're a fan of Alicia Vikander, go see this movie and support her as an actress because I think she's got a lot of potential.
Agreed.
Coming up, and she's won an Oscar, didn't she, for Ex Machina or something?
I don't know, man.
Or nominated. She was nominated or something. Anyway, I think that was the only reason to go watch it, because if you're a Tomb Raider fan, I would say don't waste your time. Just play through both of the newer games, and some of the games that came before it were really good. Anniversary Edition's great. Oblivion's great. Even the original is great. You know, if you're not that into video games, go onto YouTube, type in original Tomb Raider or any of the Tomb Raider games, and put no commentary, and just watch somebody else play that bitch, and you'll be able to experience it just the same. If you're not so good at games, or if you don't have thumbs, I understand there are options. Yeah. Otherwise, my final verdict is skip this Tomb Raider movie.
Well, Superhouse listeners, that was episode 118, and that was our review of the Tomb Raider film that just came out. Please be sure to let us know what you think in the comments of our Facebook page, SoundCloud, YouTube, wherever you can find us. It'll be included in the posts. As well as check out our website at www.superhousepod.com. Check out our Patreon and throw us a few bones if you got them. The content will only get better the more that you donate to us. It'll get better anyway, but I like to think that it'd be even better if you donated. But anyway, we'd like to thank Shasta once again for her contributions to the Superhouse Patreon. You're a badass. Check us out on the pages. Peace out.